Beep beep. What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World and I make music production and sound design videos for dance music here on YouTube. And I'm pleased to say that the king, the legend, Hardwell is back, and you know the saying, big room never dies. Oh, that's better. That crew neck was killing me. You know we gotta rock V-necks like back in the day. Blaster Jacks, what's up? Alright, back to normal. Now guys, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on the new Hardwell, on Hardwell's comeback at Ultra 2022. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and my review on the whole set from my perspective as a guy that used to love Big Room but kind of grew out of it as well because I didn't peak in high school. Not to say you guys complaining did. But before we get started, you know I got to feed my kids, feed my wife, and feed Ableton some new plugins. So if you want to support the channel, make sure to head over to evilsounds.com to find all of my sound design work. If you guys enjoyed Hardwell's new sound, make sure to check out the Paradox series as well as Illusions, as this is probably going to give you majority of the sounds that he used in his set and some of his IDs. I'm not saying he used my packs, but they're around the same ballpark. With that being said, let's get started with this little review video. So what happened? On the last day of Ultra Miami 2022, Hardwell got to return back from retirement, back to the main stage where he belongs. The bros were coming out in droves, ready to just get down. You know, Big Room never dies kind of vibes. They were ready to scream that thing out of their head. Big Room never dies. Because in 2018, Hardwell decided to retire from touring to spend more time with family. But if you ask me, I think Hardwell took a plane to a damn cave where he honed his techno, big room trance skills and kind of bred this hybrid baby of Space 92, David Guetta, old school W&W, some Armin van Buuren tech trance going on to create this new sound that the bros sadly were a little disappointed with. By just looking at the crowd in some of the Ultra videos, you can definitely see that people weren't expecting this new Hardwell, but at the same time, you can also debate saying the music that he was playing was also a little less like build up, drop for like 30 seconds, back to break, drop. So maybe people were grooving a lot more, who knows? But the reviews were mixed. Some commended him for changing his style, while others are just going, why can't we get the old Hardwell, 2013 Hardwell? Put your hands up in the air, Hardwell. Black V-neck Hardwell. 25-year-old Hardwell. Now going online, just looking at some of the reviews, you definitely have some of the people that just wanted the old school Hardwell, but got this new hybrid techno beast. I mean, we definitely heard like Spaceman on fucking roids, like. Now, to understand this whole set, I feel like we have to talk about the intro, because in the intro, we can hear a man reciting a poem, which I'm going to assume Hardwell wrote. And the whole message is how Hardwell was making music for other people and not staying true to himself.
The world made me what I was.
Eventually, the poem leads to a climax where he essentially tells people, I don't care what you think about me, and this is who you're going to get. He is going to do what he wants.
Opinion of me does not define who I am. Now, I'm gonna show you who I truly am.
And he's gonna show us who he truly is, and then you cue in this massive techno horn bulldozer of death. And then we're met with this big drop with the Space 92-ish kind of lead, a saw with a bit of attack, and the party gets started. So as a sound designer myself, I can relate to Hardwell a bit, because if I want to make a living out of doing this, I have to make sure to make sounds that people want to buy. It doesn't mean I'm making sounds that I truly enjoy making sometimes. So for me, having Hardwell come out like that and just explain everything and then giving us what he's all about now, I find that is very commendable. To be honest, there's nothing to hate. If you're hating on that, then you're just a low human, like an FL producer. I will say, if I was reviewing this set from a consumer standpoint of view, this is my first day at Ultra and I hear this kind of stuff at the last day, I'm just gonna be like, with party mode, what's going on? Feels like I'm in an AA meeting. But other than that, guys, I know what to expect with the EDM stuff, like super epic intros and whatnot. So he gave us a little bit of the old school Hardwell for sure there. Again, I commend the guy and I respect him for his decision. Doesn't mean I enjoy the new music as much as I enjoyed his old stuff. But again, it wasn't too bad, and I think people are blowing it a little bit out of proportion, especially the old school fans. Now, the music from a sound designer's perspective definitely sounded like a mixture of big room trance with some techno influences in it and a little bit of the future rave vibe that David Guetta has created with Morden. Depending on what ID you're listening to, you can definitely debate that maybe that wasn't really techno, it was a lot more big room trance influence. But there's a lot of bass one shots that occur that just remind me of like the new modern techno that Umic has started up with like a lot of these cats in the commercial techno, business techno scene. The stuff the purists hate. So to me, the music sounded definitely like heavily inspired by this whole new big room techno stuff. A little bit like the first song sounded Space 92-ish with that lead just going ham. And if you've heard any Space 92 track, you know that's sort of like their signature sound. So Hardwell, I don't know if you heard their song or not, or went into a cave and got mentored. But again, it had that vibe to it. Eventually, we reach one of Hardwell's most famous tracks called Spaceman, and he's done a rework to it. And in all honesty, I like it a lot because the rework is just, it makes the track feel a lot heavier. Instead of using the wimpsy little lead that he used in the previous version, he comes in with a very massive Sam Wolfish sort of like bulldozer saw kind of sound on the drop, which sounds heavy and gets the crowd going crazy. This is the weird thing about the set, is that there's actually moments in the drops where people go up and down like a normal big room track, but then after it plays longer than it should, people aren't used to it, they kind of stop dancing. So there was definitely energy there, but that's probably one of the highlights of the set for me, is that Spaceman edit that he did. And a good analogy for it is like when a guy starts taking roids and you got the before and the after. Yeah, the new Spaceman is a roided beast. Now, a cool little feature about the music that Hardwell presents to us in this set of his is the fact that the more to the right that we go, the longer the set goes on, the harder it starts to get, and the more big roomy it also starts to get. I believe there's a song kind of like close to the end which has this beach going, and then the drop is just a very massive W&W old school drop sound. You can even say it's Hardwell-ish as well.
Let me see you raise your hands from the front to the back where you at. The question is, can you handle this? Stomp your feet, now pump your fist, cause this one will make you reminisce. Let's go!
And you can see the crowd again go wild. I thought that was one of the best parts of the set. It's probably one of the best songs, and it goes to show that sometimes you don't need all this fancy stuff going on. Just a simple sound that has so much raviness to it can like blow through and get everyone just going. I got goosebumps at that moment. Now, as the set progresses, the cool thing is that we start to hear some of the new sound Hardwell has, and like I stated before, it's a mixture of big room trance, big room techno. You got breakdowns that are very big room trancey, and some of the drops even turn big room trancey. The arrangements, the beginning, the mixing of the songs, it goes from being, you know, tech, a lot of sounds going on, then the breaks contain these big melodies, and then from there the drops are massive, again like big roomy, but big room trance and big room techno influenced. And if there is one thing I can say for certain now, is that eventually everyone turns to techno. We're all gonna grow up, and as you mature, your taste is also gonna mature. Just like you go from drinking cheap beer to like IPAs, or cheap wine to really good wine, eventually you go from listening to cheesy stuff to some business techno. You go a lot more tech, less melody, more tech, because you just want to groove. You don't want to be jumping up and down, because God knows your knees already took a damn beating in your 20s. Nostalgia. Now, we have to talk about nostalgia, because in all honesty, that's the only reason why a lot of people are going to be talking smack. A lot of us remember good memories to the old Hardwell music, that old style. So it's fair to say that when they make a comeback, we're kind of expecting the same thing. I mean, Swedish House Mafia did that as well, and every close friend I had that loved Swedish House Mafia, that used to be a super fan, kind of just went, eh. Daft Punk did the same thing with the new album Random Access Memories, where it was kind of like, and now Hardwell joins the bunch. But again, at the end of the day, guys, if you're a music producer, a sound designer, you know that a lot of the times you do get tired of making that stuff. And then at the same time, let's say you have a favorite Hardwell track. You listen to it 100 times. Have you ever worked on a song? When you work on a song, hear the damn song on loop for like countless of hours. I will dare say at least 10,000 times before it's actually released. And imagine Hardwell running the label and everything. He's gonna get tired of big room. He wants to explore new things. But again, I understand the nostalgia factor is there. We want him to stay to his roots. But if he's not inspired to make that music, why are we gonna have him make music he doesn't want to make? We're just gonna get stuff that we're even gonna talk more smack about, saying this ain't the old Hardwell. The mix ain't right. So in conclusion, Hardwell made his biggest return at Ultra 2022. The last day closed it out, and he came in with a fresh new sound that got a bit of mixed reviews. The sound was a mixture of, again, big room techno with big room trance and a little bit of tech trance influences going on there. Now, what did I think of it? I thought it was refreshing. I definitely like the new sound. I've been a fan of it for quite some time now, so I might be a little bit biased there, but I can also see why some people kind of have some things to say, because it's kind of like going to McDonald's and then instead of getting a cheeseburger, now they're selling like salads only, and it's kind of like, oh, I was expecting something else. Is it gonna hurt Hardwell in the long run? Probably not. The people that vibe are gonna stay, the true fans are gonna stay, and then from there the other people might choose to find someone else that is trying to big room back. Other than that, those are my opinions on the new Hardwell, the Hardwell set, his ultimate comeback. Hopefully you guys had fun watching it, and if you enjoy these kind of videos, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment so that you're like, yo, Sam, can you stop making tutorials and just make more of these? It allowed me to show my personality a bit more, of course. But other than that, guys, again, if you guys want to support the channel, make sure to head over to evilsounds.com, where you can find Paradox Volume 1, Volume 2, and Illusions, which is going to give you the sound that Hardwell has been using in his new tracks. Again, he's not using the sound banks, but the sounds are on the same ballpark. With that being said, you guys take care, and Hardwell on air.